Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about. Why am I wearing my Make America Great Again hat? Because President Trump is presiding over peace between North and South Korea, something President Obama and no other president could have achieved. President Trump is presiding over the lowest or record lows in terms of Black and Latino unemployment in the country. President Trump is bringing home Americans from conflict where Democrats want to keep them. Why am I wearing my Make America Great Again hat? Because President Trump is a very good president. Already in 2 years, close to 4 million jobs created under his presidency, 11.8 million created in 8 years. In just 2 years, you have 4 million jobs created. 400,000 manufacturing jobs created under President Trump, 300,000 manufacturing jobs lost. When you're talking, the one reason I loved Bernie is because, well, he was going to bring back manufacturing jobs. He's going to fight the 1%. And he was going to end perpetual quagmires, which is foreign policy is the number one issue I vote on. I will always vote I will always vote against an interventionist foreign policy that results in the destruction of a country like Libya. In addition, President Trump is offering protections for DACA recipients. I have friends who are dreamers, and they say, I hope Trump can help us. They don't say, I hope Nancy Pelosi can help us. My friend the other day said, well, you know, I'm pretty sure that Joseph Arbuckle, MAGA, it's okay to be had. You know, this is wrong. Thank you, Joseph. Let's see. Let's see how this looks right here. But let's see. Yeah. Okay, that looks better. But why am I wearing this hat? I'll tell you why. Let's see if I can make it look a little better. President Trump is right in trying to negotiate a deal. He now offered his second offer. His second offer was a bit ambiguous. So President Trump offered somewhat of an ambiguous deal. He said, well, we can negotiate a down payment, but he didn't give the price. He didn't give the down payment amount. So, so you didn't have 60 votes in the Senate. You needed 60 votes in the Senate. One bill to open the government got 50 votes. Another bill got 52 votes. But you have a national security concern, numerous national security concerns at the border. Now, in terms of YouTube policies, I can't, in a live stream, explain. I literally, this is how dangerous it is. I literally, in a live stream, can't explain without getting demonetized, by the way, to my super chat. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. Thank you for your support, and I appreciate your support. By the way, tomorrow, RT's Crosstalk, I have a spirited, wonderful debate. It's about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and President Trump. And I explained that in terms of a person who is, let's say, filled with... Watch the debate tomorrow. All of the myths that you hear about Hillary Clinton or that you hear about Trump, I try my best to debunk. But I also try to debunk the myth that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or people within the Democratic Party really care about Medicare for all or anything like that. So it's a really, really great debate. And it's actually pretty awesome. So check that out. That's tomorrow. I will share the link once it's out on RT's Crosstalk. But Trump told reporters at the White House he would consider legislation prorated down with a prorated down payment for the wall, but did not specify a dollar amount. Short-term deal to end showdown, okay, if it has a prorated down payment. So that's, you know, Pelosi rejected that also. So they don't want a down payment. I think this is leading to, I think this is going to lead to a national emergency and Trump utilizing Department of Defense unobligated funds or Department of Defense funding for construction projects. Because he stated today to CNN that he has other options. So he's not sweating it. And then you have the fake and phony outrage and sympathy machine. And I get it. Like I actually feel sympathy for federal workers, but they work for the government. And if the government is represented by the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party won't give $5.7 billion simply out of malice, then you have a problem. I think what's going to take place, because when you have a situation where Democrats will not budge, that I don't see them capitulating at any point. And I think I think Pelosi actually won a small little battle regarding the State of the Union. Trump should never, ever, ever have capitulated to Pelosi. Ever, ever, ever. He should have stated, you know what, I'm going to go to Pennsylvania with 20 electoral college votes, or Florida with 29. He should have said, I'm going to go and I'm going to I'm going to go and I'm going to have a rally or some. You know what he should have done? What he should have done, with all the bias, whether with the high school recently and with Dianne Feinstein recently stating to Amy Coney Barrett, oh, the dogma lives loudly within you. What he should have done, he should have gone to a Catholic church and he should have performed the State of the Union there. And that would have been a moment in time that nobody would ever forget. Nobody would ever forget. That would have been a moment in time that would have showed the media that they can't continually spin narratives. Because Amy Coney Barrett is hopefully could be likely. I've been saying she's going to be the next Supreme Court justice if Ginsburg retires. President Trump should have picked a Catholic church in Pennsylvania or Florida or Michigan or Ohio. And he should have just performed the State of the Union there. He should have, or he could have just performed the State of the Union at a rally in Ohio at a huge venue with 10, 15, 20,000 people. And it could have been like, it just, and if people say, oh, well, Trump did the wrong thing, he needs to speak to Americans, he needs to speak to the country, Democrats, the people who didn't vote for Trump in 2020 and 2016, very likely are not going to vote for Trump in 2020. Those people, the independents who didn't vote in 2016, or people who didn't vote in 2016, have a choice to make in 2020. If the economy is still good, which it likely will be still good, they're going to lean towards Trump. But let's just I don't think President Trump should have postponed the State of the Union because it was viewed as a victory for Pelosi when it could have been an absolute victory for Trump. I don't think the mainstream can be changed, but I think that he could take advantage of the situation. Freedom Autopsy Report, the momentum from a macro view is on our side. Lawrence F. Trump did the right thing. He's a better person than she is. If he would have gone, the media would have had a field day. But see, the thing is, you're right. You're right. You might be referring to the State of the Union. But if he would have, I mean, the State of the Union address, I think that, yes, it's true. They would have said, oh my gosh, this is just another example. This is another example of how Trump is. But, you know, certain events like that, when you have a president who's forced to present the State of the Union at a stadium, it's unique. People remember it, and it could have easily been a memory for thousands of people within a swing state. Well, I mean, hundreds of thousands within that location, within that state, whether it's Pennsylvania, Florida, Michigan, or Ohio, that he has to win. He has to win Florida. He has to win Arizona. And then if he just wins Michigan, Ohio, or Wisconsin, he wins the presidency. He gets 270. But it would have been remembered 2 years from now. That's my point. That's my point. It would have helped him 2 years from now immeasurably. And I really think he's leaning towards a national emergency, because the interesting thing about a national emergency is this. Kolkowski, President Trump has legal authority to declare border emergency. Will Trump use a national emergency to end the shutdown? Either way, Congress must revisit the National Emergencies Act. Okay, well, there you go. If he uses a national emergency, and then if he declares a national emergency and then uses the unobligated funds for the Defense Department, the Defense Department unobligated funds, so unobligated funds, Trump might declare a national emergency to get his wall. Washington Post. Under the law, the unobligated funds, so this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. According to U.S. law, a president can divert funds to a federal construction project during a declared national emergency. How can he get funds for a wall? By declaring a national emergency. According to U.S. law, a president can divert funds to a federal construction project during a national emergency. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Democrats can't say that there's immorality taking place. Oh, my God. But, and there's no national emergency. Mitchell Smith called it a gut feeling, but President Trump's lawyers are drawing up paperwork to declare a national emergency. Mitchell Smith. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that he knows very well that, see, what Democrats are hoping is that it'll be struck down by one of the courts, by one of the federal courts. So Mitchell Smith, I agree with you on that. Thank you, Mitchell Smith. Johnny 5. HA, do something for me. Look up Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution and read it out loud. What is the second half of that section about POTUS authority with regard to Congress? Okay, Article 2, Section 3. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hold on one second. Let me keep this here. Johnny 5, thank you. All right, so Article 2, Section 3. Article 2, Section 3. He shall from time to time give to Congress information of the State of the Union and recommend to their consideration measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them, and in case of disagreement between them. Oh gosh, I have to read the. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm only reading it. Okay, so. Okay, he shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the State of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them, and in case of disagreement between them with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care of the laws, be faithfully executed, and shall commission all officers of the United States. Okay, so Johnny 5, with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. Yeah. So Johnny 5, it's within Trump's right to perform the State of the Union anytime he wants. Johnny 5, thank you. And he can convene both chambers, it says. So, Sam Jage, Cohen Ukraine connection. We will talk about that. Sam, let's see, Michael Cohen. It's always these connections with Trump, Russia, but like. But with Clinton's direct connections and money flow and direct, like Bill Clinton meeting Putin. No, you can't talk about that. Senate Intelligence Committee subpoenas Trump attorney Cohen. So, okay. Well, it's interesting with the Buzzfeed report. Sam Jage, thank you. With the Buzzfeed report. That was refuted within like 10 hours. It's kind of now like Mueller has, like, who's talking about Mueller? Like BuzzFeed single-handedly neutered the BuzzFeed report. Johnny 5, so basically POTUS can compel the House to make the venue available for the State of the Union anytime he seems is necessary. You know, that's true, Johnny 5, but it's true, but we keep hearing that Pelosi can uninvite Trump. So I guess there's the risk that they don't show up. So he would speak to an empty house. I'm just, thinking out loud here. And it would only be Republicans there, which, I'd rather have a rally but you're right, Johnny 5. You are right. The Constitution does state those things. Now, you're right about that. But then they might pull like some other, crazy shenanigans. Who knows? Johnny 5, thank you. Loud Citizens, Article 2, Section 4. After adjournment, a light lunch will be served. Let me see. Does it say that? So, civil should be removed from impeachment. Yes. The interesting thing is, oh, by the way, the progressives on this channel will love my debate tomorrow about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So watch. I will look out in the RT crosstalk. And I'm going to reach out to Fox and MSNBC and CNN. Loud Citizen, yes. Definitely watch my RT crosstalk. It's awesome. But how can you get funds for a wall by declaring a national emergency? Where does the money come from? According to U.S. Okay, so in the case of the border wall, the money could come from the budget from the Department of Defense under something called unobligated money. Under federal law, unobligated money in the Department of Defense's budget may be used by the military to fund construction projects during war or emergencies. So there you go. Now, the federal courts are the issue here. The federal courts are the issue. So federal courts, they strike down a national emergency. I mean, I would think it would go straight to the Supreme Court. Legal obstacles await if Trump declares national emergency. President Trump, this is The Hill. President Trump on a Friday sent strong signals that he is prepared to declare a national emergency. They could say it would be very difficult. It would be very interesting for a court to strike down a national emergency on the U.S.-Mexico border. That would be very interesting. It would be very interesting after everything that's taken place, after everything that goes on at that location, for a court to actually say, well, no, it's not really a national emergency. There's not really a national emergency. Nah, no. Who could challenge the declaration in court? To have standing in court, a plaintiff would need to show they have been injured by Trump's emergency declaration. House Democrats could try to bring a case, but he noted that legislative standing is often difficult to establish. I don't see how a court could deem this unconstitutional, since he's actually utilizing the powers given to him to any president by an act of Congress. So, which other presidents have invoked emergency powers? Truman, Reagan, Bush, Obama. So, 100 emergency powers a president can invoke when a national emergency is declared. Under 10 U.S.C. 2008, law allows Secretary of Defense to use funds that have not been obligated for military construction projects. (33 U.S. 2293) allows the Secretary of Defense to divert funds away from Army civil projects. Okay, so the White House said Thursday it's considering using $13.9 billion in funding Congress passed last year for various Army Corps of Engineers projects that have been allocated but not spent. See, you should just do that, and Democrats will then own any, God forbid, any horrific thing that takes place at the border, God forbid, they'll own that. Either way, Trump wins because it can easily be declared a national emergency. AOC voted to fund ICE. She voted to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Loud citizen, I'm not sure about that. I don't think so. I don't think so. So, okay, so she just voted recently to vote against funding to reopen, but her first vote was a vote to fund Department of Homeland Security. And it's interesting, like, like ICE is this moral, but like Obama deported 2.5 million immigrants. And today I spoke about that on RT's Crosstalk. And like, it's like Democrats didn't care. And horrific things took place, unfortunately. And nobody cared. It's like, it's like 2.5 million immigrants. 2.5 million immigrants. And he's deporting more. Obama deported more people, was on at this point in their presidencies. So it's like, my God. Oh my God. Here, January 10th. So she voted to fund Department of Homeland Security. And then now she's, oh, well, no, I'm voting against it. So just recently she voted against it. Still, though, you can, where's the bill to abolish ICE? Where's the bill to abolish ICE? Where's the abolish ICE bill? That's what I don't get. Where's the Medicare for All bill? I spoke about this today. Where's the legislation? Oh my God, she was the only Democrat to vote against it. So what? It's not going to abolish ICE. It doesn't mean anything. And of course, like, is against ICE, but voted to fund ICE January 9th. Ocasio blasted Trump for funding ICE days after she voted for its funding. Ocasio-Cortez blasts Trump for funding ICE days after she voted for its funding. This is Mediaite. And only a few days into her term as Congresswoman for New York's 14th Congressional District, Republican Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez appears to be ignoring a critical campaign promise after winning on a platform of abolishing ICE, the U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement agent, and replacing it with something else. Ocasio-Cortez recently voted to keep ICE and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security at large until February. House Joint Resolution 1, making further continuing appropriations for the Department of Homeland Security for fiscal year 2019. Her vote came before she blasted Trump on Tuesday after a speech to the nation. It's like, I don't need, like, the last person I would go to for moral guidance is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The last person. Johnny Five. They're too busy with the Orange Man bad bill. Send in the Army Corps of Engineers and Navy scabies. Britton Johnson! HA really appreciates tonight's stream. Why do you think Mueller connected Buzzfeed's? I think that, I suspect it's because he knows Barr won't put up. Yes. Britton Johnson, thank you. I think that he knows William Barr is on the horizon. By the way, this coming Tuesday, William Barr there's a meeting in the Senate. There's a meeting in the Senate. So they're close to voting on William Barr. So within the next couple of weeks, he will be officially the Attorney General, and then within a month or so, we will have an official investigation or investigations or a special counsel. Can you imagine if there's a special counsel? And what are Democrats going to do? Nothing. They can't do anything. They can't do anything. They got a special counsel for a fantasy. Imagine a special counsel for actual crimes committed. That's why I say Clinton will eventually get indicted. But I think Britton Johnson, you're right. I mean, it's obvious nonsense. And the thing is, it was so horrendous. This is the problem. Imagine if you're Mueller and you really have no evidence at all, and you're just trying some way to get Trump. And then Buzzfeed comes along and says, Trump worked with Martians to bribe the Loch Ness Monster and then utilize the Decepticons to invade the castle of Grayskull. It's like Mueller's like, no, that's not what happened. So it wasn't going to fly the whole, because it was a very specific claim. They had evidence that Trump told Michael Cohen to lie. A very specific claim. So that specific claim, was too much for Mueller. And Nancy Pelosi says no. So I was like, oh, the government workers. Yeah, Democrats should just strike a deal. They can get citizenship for dreamers. I want citizenship for dreamers. Britton Johnson, bring the bribing the Loch Ness Monster is more probable. I know. They should simply work to get citizenship for dreamers. They should simply work. They should simply do what's right for their constituents. Why don't they? And my question is, where's the Medicare for All legislation? Where is it? How are you going to fight the oligarchy, man? Yeah, fight, man. The 1%. Ooh, that man, 1%. The 1%. I'm tired of the 1%. My new name is Rico Suave Sanders. If it worked for that imbecile, Beto, Drunko, Robert Francis, I'm tired. I drafted Medicare for All legislation last year. I got bupkis. They not even the first paragraph. Nobody read it. Luckily, I convinced enough people to vote for the Democrats. It's like, where is this, like, you're going to abolish ICE, so draft legislation, right? Sponsor a bill with another progressive Democrat. But Alexandria Cortez doesn't want to do that. Then she said, well, the world's going to end in 12 years. Well, here's a newsflash. Beto O'Rourke got more oil and gas money than anyone aside from Ted Cruz. Beto O'Rourke got totally exposed by David Sirota. And all they had to do was look at open secrets. Not hard. And then, of course, what happens is David Sirota says, oh, yeah, well, Beto O'Rourke takes money from lobbyists, oil and gas, and he actually took more money than anyone other than Ted Cruz. He's from Texas. Okay, there are a lot of oil and gas lobbyists. Okay? Oh ay, ay, ay. Nobody cares about Beto, huh? I wish nobody cared about Beto. Drunko. But a lot of people do. I'm changing my name to Rico Suave 2020 Sanders. Okay, nobody cares about Beto. Let's see how many nobody cares. Beto O'Rourke campaign. Yeah. Beto O'Rourke's campaign in waiting awaits his signal. Beto road trip across America. Wow. Yeah, baby. Trump favorite to win. Kamala Harris, Beto O'Rourke, top challengers. Can you imagine? I bust my kumquats, and Beto gets all the good press. Could you imagine? They have Kamala Harris and Beto O'Rourke. It might be Kamala Harris O'Rourke. It could. I mean, who knows? Or O'Rourke Harris. I mean, it could. That could be. That could be the not, that could be the. Can you imagine Beto O'Rourke? Could you imagine Beto O'Rourke? That's hilarious. Oh, they love Beto. He's the best. He made dinner the other night on Instagram. He eats like everyone else. Oh my God, he's so relatable. And what's Warren drank a beer. Honey, do you want a beer? Wow. That's really awesome. It's Britton Johnson. He skateboards. Well, I mean, okay, here's one article. 2020 odds, Trump favored to win, Kamala Harris. Okay, California Senator Kamala Harris, okay, is tied for Democratic primary lead with Texas Representative Beto O'Rourke. Beto, I paved the way for you, and what have you done for me? I got bupkis from you. Nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing. But thanks anyway. I bust my derriere for you. Get cheated. I have to pretend the Russians cheated me. And what do I get? Absolutely, positively nothing. Not even a thank you. Trump has the edge, 74 odds. Harris, in fact, has been Democrat bet for most. Okay, so let's see. Yep. Wow, Beto O'Rourke. Yeah, it's true. Beto O'Rourke and Kamala Harris are way up in the odds. Well, whatever. Who cares about odds? I mean, Trump defied the odds, but Beto O'Rourke would get clowned so hard. Kamala Harris would be better than Beto O'Rourke for Democrats, even though she won't win, but she'd be much better. Joe Biden would be better than Beto O'Rourke. Bernie would probably be better than all of them, even though I wouldn't vote for Bernie. Because he'd be like, I'll fight for you in case unless I'm cheated, then I won't fight, and then I'll side with the people who cheated me. Elizabeth Warren is barely beats Mike Pence. That's hilarious. Ay, ay, ay. What a depressing conversation. How the mighty have fallen. My God. Joseph Arbuckle. I like Mickey Rourke. Cleaner lifestyle. Johnny Five. Wow. Willie Brown spent a quarter of a century. Now we're far beyond the point that is vying. Harris doesn't talk about Brown. She says it's not relevant. But Willie Brown's story with those big paychecks gives at least, wow. Patriot 95. The shutdown exposes who really wants open borders and who really wants secure borders. Either way, either we are a nation state with sovereignty and secure borders or not. Trump was elected to fix the border crisis. He absolutely was. Patriot 95, he absolutely was. Initially, I wasn't really on board with the border wall, but now I am. If it helps prevent or stop the trafficking of, everything from narcotics to human to, if it helps prevent criminal behavior and stop or impede, then it's worth it. Trump won for so many reasons, had nothing to do with racism. There was like one study, and yeah, you know what? Wait, there was a study that says it was racism. No, it was a study by Clinton voters, by liberals that wanted to push an agenda. Britton Johnson, the real Kamala was. That's right. He was awesome. That's right. I remember. Britton Johnson, Patriot 95. I think there's going to be. I think Trump's going to declare a national emergency. I do. I really do. I mean, at this point right now, look, she's not going to. But the really the funniest thing of all is nothing funny about a national emergency. But what would be funny is that you still you still don't get. So the government shutdown does not end with a national emergency. What has to happen is they still have to have a vote in Congress that Trump won't veto. Johnny Five. Or no, a vote in Congress, sorry, that gets through the Senate and the House. The only Democrat I would even consider is Tulsi Gabbard. There's no way she'll win the primary. Yep, blessed are the peacemakers. Johnny Five, absolutely. I like Tulsi Gabbard in 2024. Depending on, I mean, if there's, I don't see anyone like Trump in the Republican Party. So when I make America great again, to me means bringing home Americans from never-ending conflict to their sons, their daughters, their wives, their husbands, their parents. And if anyone doesn't like, that, they have a major problem. Johnny Five, thank you. Yep, I agree with you. Mitchell Smith, Mondale and Farrar were too far left, and so will be Harris, O'Rourke, and Warren. Moderate Democrat has best chance. But here's the thing, Mitchell Smith. You're right. Theoretically, you're right. But a moderate, thank you, Ramla Farah. Hello, thank you. A moderate Democrat doesn't have a message that resonates. So they won the House. I didn't think people were, stupid enough, gullible enough to believe Democrats, but they were. They're like, get Medicare for all, abolish ICE, green economy, $15 minimum wage. Everything's going to happen. Fight the power, fight the oligarchy. And then, like, they get into Congress. Wah, wah, wah. It's like, oh, So no legislation, huh? Hmm. Luke St. Martin, thank you. I wouldn't vote for Bernie, but he deserves to be the nominee in 2020. But they cheated him, so that'll never happen. I'm voting for Trump in 2020, but Bernie Sanders deserves to be the nominee. It's his vision, even though most of it is not feasible. Now I can see that. The main reason I loved Bernie Sanders was because of his foreign policy. He wanted to end quagmires. That's something completely lost upon the pundits that love Bernie now. Completely lost. Paul HB, I don't know. I mean, um, Tulsi Gabbard, um, I mean, Democrats are going to impeach Trump. I mean, I don't want that to happen. I think that's going to be horrendous. But I mean, 2024 is a different ballgame. If it's between, Paul Ryan and Tulsi Gabbard all the way. Britton Johnson, have a great night. Everyone got to crash. Britton Johnson, thank you. Thank you. Whoever is going to be nominee, it's going to be a fractured Democratic Party, a completely fractured Democratic Party, a completely fractured Democratic Party. The Daily Cause endorses primary challenger to Gabbard. Who cares what the Daily Cause endorses? My God. I love that. Anybody who is just anti-intervention, like they don't care, like there's zero discussion. What influence does the Daily Cause have in Democratic politics? I mean, Johnny Five. Puppets. Oh, well, I don't think so. I mean, I hope not. Johnny Five is a great. There are a lot of AI scientists that talk about the dangers of artificial intelligence. So, I mean, you could be right in terms of the dangers of artificial intelligence. I mean, there's no doubt AI, there's a great deal of danger there. Great deal. Patriot 95, yeah, you'll like it. It's awesome. The RT segment tomorrow is awesome. It will be awesome. But I mean, like, doesn't Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, doesn't she want to write and draft legislation? And how hard is that to do? You spend a couple of months. That should be your only focus in Congress. If you're elected to the House, that should be your only focus, is to draft legislation. Eric H526, thank you. The only focus should be drafting legislation. It's the only focus. Freedom Autopsy Report. We're going to have a great year. 2019 is going to be awesome. It has to be. There's just too much momentum. You have William Barr. You have the Senate Judiciary started a Clinton email probe already. And Democrats are like, oh my goodness, it's Back to the Future. It's the History Channel. Yeah, well, enjoy. The History Channel used to be good. Used to be about history. And the left is made like MAGA hats. Like, it's like, this is not a symbol of racism. This is not. Hillary Clinton's 3 a.m. ad is. Hillary Clinton spreading a photo of Obama in African attire is. Hillary Clinton referring to black youth as super predators is. That's worse than anything Trump has ever said. Johnny 5. Yes. Ben Shapiro says sciencing. The sciencing is real. All she has to do, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, it's instead of spending time on Twitter, just say, let the Twitter people know, oh, I'm writing legislation. Oh my God, that would be retweeted forever. I'm writing legislation to abolish ICE. I'm drafting legislation. I'm co-sponsoring legislation for Medicare for all to fund 320 million Americans and their health care. It's going to have tax increases, but it'll be worth it. And Democrats are going to run on this, and we're going to vote on this. You know, it just doesn't happen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I really, really do think. I really do think. Let's see, did I miss one of the super chats? End of our lives. Thank you. Johnny 5, thank you. Britton Johnson, thank you. You know, the only Democrat. Yeah. So, it's like Johnny 5. I always recommend to young people, do not use the word like ever, okay? I'm broke now. Like awesome. The Valley, 80s Valley type of lingo. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny 5, everyone, thank you so very, very much to my super chat. Thank you. Definitely check out HA Second Amendment. The links are below. Definitely check out my RT Crosstalk segment. And I'm going to try to reach out to Fox and CNN and MSNBC. And ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. I will try to be back a little later. Thank you.